Raymond. Good afternoon. And I'd like to greet all of our participants here in the live broadcast of the Zoom webinar, and all those who are watching via live streaming on TVUP YouTube channel, as well as the UP System Facebook page, TVUP Facebook page, and of course, those who are watching on the playback, because I guess not everyone can come on a Friday at noontime, but it is such a pleasure to be with you again, Raymond, and to be part of this community that talks about the latest information in health and medicine. Today on TVUP Health Updates, we are joined by Dr. Christopher Malyore Kalakian, who will discuss, as Raymond has been talking about, noise-induced hearing loss, yung pagkabingi, no? So we take this for granted, Raymond, as you've been saying, I think, that's not really a big deal. But actually, it's very difficult if you cannot hear anything. Or Raymond, can you imagine a world without music?
Hmm.
Ang hirap, di ba?
Mhm.
So anyway, stay with us. We've got a great speaker for today. Over to you, Raymond.
Thank you, Dr. Susie. So for today po, no, just to provide context to our topic, you note that TVUP, very hardworking ano po, no, webinar team has interviewed po, no, persons on the street. This is the persons on the street video po to understand ano po ba yung karaniwan po na or common understanding po patungkol po sa noise-induced hearing. So questions na itanong po natin sa kanila. Ano po ang alam ninyo at ano po sa tingin ninyo ang epekto ng ingay sa pandinig po ninyo? Ano po sa tingin ninyo ang mga ingay na nakakasira ng pandinig? Sa tingin po ba ninyo ang pagkabingi or pagkasira ng pandinig ay permanente o may solusyon po ba ito? Bakit po ganun ang tingin ninyo or bakit hindi? At ano po ang mga pwedeng gawin upang maiwasan ang pagkawala o panghina po ng pandinig dahil po sa ingay? Please watch this.
Ang ingay kasi nakaka-epekto to sa ating pandinig, mostly isang hearing loss.
I guess like it makes you like when you listen to music, it makes you put the volume higher na.
Usually it varies. It could be something from like a gradual thing through time na palagi kang may headphones, or it's something you're exposed to with work.
Makes people not hear anymore. It's like it hurts the ears and it causes deafness.
Lalo pa yung mga, siguro yung mga nasa construction field na malalakas lagi yung mga tunog ng drills or yung mga equipment, ganyan.
For me, it's mostly the loud noise sounds, whether it's natural or electronic or made up.
For one, like yung mga nasa earpods, and I guess like in concerts as well.
I think yung mga medyo lower sounds for me, yung rumbling that affects my ears.
I think it's both. Kasi merong mga sounds that's really deafening. Like, I think yung mga nasa concerts or when you're at a really loud space where everything is distracting and nag-rumble everywhere.
I think it's permanent. Permanent siya kasi actually maraming factors Hindi lang yung sounds, pero it affects my ears na. For example, my left is mas malakas siya makarinig kaysa sa right ear ko.
I've known people that have lost their hearing just because they've been listening to loud music constantly for a long periods of time, and then I've heard people that would have hearing loss because of just a big loud bang sound.
I think it's permanent. I'm not quite sure if could be like surgery done, because I think I've read somewhere that you could reconstruct the eardrum at some point, but I'm not quite sure about that. So I think as far as everyone like baseline knowledge, and I think it's permanent.
Siguro there is a solution, pero it won't like hindi ka babalik sa quality of life mo as before. Yeah.
Well, it always depends. Sometimes someone will have that accident of hearing loss, and sometimes that kind of stuff can be cured, I think. But basically, if it's a gradual hearing loss, it's gonna be forever gone.
One of the biggest things, especially now that we all have personal phones, is to stop from playing loud sounds on your phone every single time. Kasi I think napakalaking factor nun every single day. Like, we don't notice it, but every day it contributes to, again, that gradual hearing loss.
Earplugs. Hairs.
Well, take care of your ears. You only got two of them. So I think you should avoid loud sound, loud noise, avoid exposing yourself to that kind of things so you don't hurt your hearing.
Okay, thank you so much to our webinar team. Dr.
Yeah.
Susie, ano pala, no?
Thank you, TVUP. Very interesting palagi ang ating person on the street, no? And I think, yun nga, parang there is awareness about it, but I think we're not taking it that seriously, Raymond, no?
So hopefully this webinar po, no, at least for our episode today, will be able to help give you a little bit more details po, no, kung ano po yung pwede nating magawa to address noise-induced hearing loss. Okay? Little bit of housekeeping po, no, for those asking, certificates of attendance will be given to those who have watched at least 50% of the webinar duration. So we have addressed na po all of the questions and we have sent out for all 269 episodes po, no, the certificates of attendance. But if you have any questions, please feel free to email us at our up.edu.ph email account po, no. We'll proceed with the topic at hand for our webinar. Webinar po natin, no, in the episode will have one speaker and then we'll open the floor po for questions and quick discussion after the presentation. So we'll begin and get it underway. Dr. Susie will introduce po our main discussant.
Thank you very much, Raymond. So our main discussant is Dr. Christopher Malyore Calaquian. He is the chair of the Philippine Academy of Neurotology, Otology, and Related Sciences. Currently, he's Dean of the College of Medicine at Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Muntinlupa, Hospital ng Muntinlupa. And he's also a clinical associate professor at the UP College of Medicine, University of the Philippines, Philippine General Hospital. So we remind everyone that, as we're going through the program, you can put your questions in the Q&A box, no, Raymond? Tama ba yan? Q&A box. So
That's correct.
so let us now come to our main speaker, Dr. Maloy Calaquian. Maloy, welcome to the program.
I welcome Dr. Susie and Dr. Raymond. Thank you for inviting me for your 270th episode.
Thank you for being with us. So please go ahead, take the floor. I think people are very keen to hear your discussion.
Okay, I will share my screen. So the topic for today is ingay, the silent killer, noise-induced hearing loss. So mapapansin nyo, no, paglabas nyo sa isang concert, sa isang maingay na bar, o matapos gumamit ng headset for a long, long time, o kaya paglabas nyo sa aeroplano, mapapansin nyo na kayo'y parang nabibingi, no, pansamantala. Ang tawag dito ay temporary threshold shift of hearing. Meaning, ang tenga natin ay automatic na protektahan ng ating sarili para sa mga ingay na ganito. Ang nangyayari, yung eardrum at yung maliliit na buto sa loob ng ating tenga ay tumitigil mag-vibrate para na naman hindi ma-damage ang ating pandinig. Subalit, kapag ito'y araw-araw na nangyayari sa iyo, hindi nakakayanin ng ating tenga na protektahan ka. And eventually, lahat ng tinatawag nating cochlear hair cells, yung pinaka-ugat ng ating pandinig, ay mamamatay. Unti-unti. So, pinakita dito sa picture na ito, mamamatay sila, yung mga hair nila mismo, pakonti ng pakonti, nawawala. And without that, hindi sila makapagbigay ng pandinig sa atin. Ngayon, ang sabi ng WHO noong 1997, exposure to excessive noise is the major avoidable cause of permanent hearing impairment worldwide. Yan ang sinabi ng WHO noong pa noong 1997. Hindi po ito yung biglang pagkabingi dahil sa mga explosions na narinig nyo, paputok ng kanyon o paputok sa bagong taon. Hindi po ito. Ang noise-induced hearing loss ay yung dahan-dahan, hindi obvious, araw-araw na exposure sa ingay. Narinig natin pangkaraniwan. Isa siyang tinatawag na invisible pollution nga sa ating pinagtatrabahuhan, sa ating bahay, o sa mga lugar na panglibangan, tulad ng mga arcades, video games. Ano bang epekto ng ingay na ito sa ating tenga? Una, tama yung ating isang interview. Permanent yung damage. Permanent talaga. At naiipon ang pinsala sa tagal ng panahon. Within 5 to 10 years pa, doon mo lang siya mapapansin. At nangyayari po ito sa 85 decibel. Ito yung volume o yung intensity ng sound na kailangan. 85 to 90 decibels na lakas ng ingay o exposure sa level na ito araw-araw sa loob ng 8 hours in a day. Kaya pwede ito kahit anong klaseng ingay, kahit traffic sounds or even yung musika, pwede makadulot ng noise-induced hearing loss. Sinasabi nga nila na permanente yung damage at symmetrical, parehong tenga maapektuhan. And may history ng long-term noise exposure. Matagal talaga, taon. At sinasabi ng 85 decibels ang volume of sound for 8 hours. So gradual ang loss involves unang-unang maapektuhan yung high frequency, yung high pitch sound, yung unang mawawala. And pwedeng nakakarinig ka pero hindi mo maintindihan yung mga salita ng kausap mo. Ganun ang pagka-hearing loss mo. And the hearing loss stabilizes after the noise, pag natigil na yung exposure sa noise. Para sa mga kaalaman ng iba, ang nangyayari kasi, napapagod literal yung ating mga hearing cells, yung hair cells ng ating. Dahil dun sa mechanical injury, unang-una dun sa tinatawag na basilar membrane, yung hampas ng vibration, super lakas ng vibration ng sound. Humahampas yun kasi sira mismo yung hearing cells. Napapagod din sila, metabolic exhaustion. Kasi yung sound requires high energy from our body, and high metabolism. So napapagod din. And then, if there is loud sounds, there is narrowing of the blood vessels. Sumiskip yung mga ugat na kung saan dumadal yung dugo, leading to ischemia o pagkakulang sa blood supply. At nagkakaroon din tinatawag ionic poisoning from the brain. Masyado ng technical yun. Basta alam nyo lang, napapagod yung tenga. Ano ba yung mga factor na pwede mag-develop ang noise-induced hearing loss? Unang-una po yung sound intensity. Siyempre po, mas malakas ang volume, mas malaki ang posibilidad na mabibingin ka ng noise-induced hearing loss. Number 2, yung tagal. Kahit di siya ganun kalakas, 85 lang decibel, minimum. Pero araw-araw at matagal, isa rin yun sa factor na magkakaroon ka ng noise-induced hearing loss. And number 3, individual susceptibility. Ibig sabihin, hindi lahat, may tao talagang malakas ang kanilang pangatawan. Yung iba, mahina ang katawang lupa at madalis na matuloy. So hindi lahat ng exposed sa ingay ay pare-pareho ang reaksyon ng tenga. Ito ngayon yung WHO, British Occupational Hygiene Society. Sabi yung permissible noise, allowed na noise lang araw-araw. Kaya nga nakalagay dito at 85 decibel. Kailangan 8 hours lang or even less. Pag tinaas mo yung sound, naging 90 decibel, base sa table na po, nagiging kalahati na yung kailangan exposure na lang. Kailangan 4 na oras na lang. So hindi siya 1:1, logarithmic yung effect. Konting increase lang ng volume, 5 decibels lang nga, from 85 to 90. Nangalahati na yung dapat exposure mo. Kung hindi, talaga mabibingit ka. And so on. Ito yung mga example ng mga sound. Yung ating bulong sa isang library, 30 decibels na po yun. Yung normal conversation, usap tayo, o yung sewing machine, o yung typewriter, makinilya pa ba? 60 decibel na yun. Yung lawn mower, yung sa garden natin, yung traffic na kinukos ng truck, yung mga malaking bus, o yung mga shop tools, yung mga drill, etc. 90 decibel na yung pataas. Okay. May nagtanong sa isang audience natin, loud rock concert, 115 decibel. Yung busina lang ng kotse, 115 decibel. Kaya sa Thailand, bawal ang magpusina ang kotse. And of course, nabanggit ko yung eroplano kasi ang jet engine, 140 decibels. Workplaces at high risk for noise-induced hearing loss. Alam na po, no? Unang-una, based on WHO, forestry, kasi nga yung kailang mga uh, chainsaw, no? Sa mining, no? Kasi yung mga blast sa mining, construction, yung araw-araw na paglalagari, pagpupok, manufacturing, no? Especially sa shipbuilding, kasi nga, yero yun eh. Conveyance, may mga assembly line, no? Maandar, mga bottling companies, ingay din yun. And, of course, the medical workplace. Kapit tayong mga doktor, tayo hindi rin protected sa ingay na ito. Example na lang, yung pala gumagamit ng drill. Kami mga ENT, gumagamit kayo ng drill sa aming operasyon. Even our dentists, no? Every day, orthopedics, gumagamit ng drill. No? Those are noise in the workplace that can affect our hearing eventually. In the different industries here in the Philippines, mining and blasting, no, we're exposed to 138 decibels. In the construction, especially inside the tunnel, yung construction, mas kulog yung lugar, mas maingay yun. 105 to 107. Textile weaving, 102. Iron and steel, may rolling mills, 94 to 99. So lahat sila above 85 to 90 decibels. Yung ating evaporator room, yung gawa ng gulong, rubber, wire and cable. Even the pharmaceutical, yung blister packing, no? Yung car manufacturing, the grinding, cement, no? Yung cooler room nila, mill area, everything, no, is above 85 decibels. So ano ngayon? Sabi nila, lahat naman tayo mabibigay pagtanda. Pero, meron talagang expected na edad kung kailan ka mabibigay. Sabi nga nila rito, pag 50 years old ka na, you lose 10 decibels. Pag 60 years old, 25. 7 years old, 25. Yan ay hindi ka exposed sa ingay. Sabi nga nila, more men have hearing loss than women. Mas malakas ang pangatawan ng mga babae. Ito nga ang hearing, yung audiogram test, yung hearing test, yung ginagraph namin. Ang normal hearing dito, itong nasa kulay blue. Pero pag tayo'y tumanda na naging 6 years old, medyo bumabagsak. Pero nakakarinig pa rin tayo. Nasa speech frequencies pa rin yan. Kaya pa rin natin makipag-converse, makipag-usap. Pero kung yung 60-year-old na yun ay na-expose sa ingay, ito magiging diferensya. No? Yung kulay pula, 6-year-old yan na walang ingay siyang na-expose. Yung kulay asul, yung light blue, exposed sa 90 decibels, bumagsak na. From 25, naging 45, no? High frequencies na dito. 4,000, 6,000 hertz. Pag 95 decibel, 100, lalong bumabagsak. So, same age, exposed to different sounds, napatunayan bumabagsak talaga. And at 55 years old, pansinin nyo, no? Ito yung edad natin, 25, normal pa tayo. As we age, no, bumabagsak siya. If you are exposed to loud sounds. But pero kung yung male na yon, kunyari ay isang carpenter. Kasi doon kanina, yung males natin, mga ordinary lang yun. Walang trabaho. Exposed sa ingay. Ito ngayon, male, no, 25-year-old carpenter. Exposed to exposed to loud sounds of 100 decibels. Meron na siyang kagad, yung pagkabingi niya ay parang isang 55-year-old carpenter. Pero 25 years old lang siya. At that same, at a very early age, exposed to noise, meron na siyang isang tenga na isang 55-year-old. Hindi lang sa pagkabingi ang epekto ng noise, pati rin sa ating pangatawan. Sinasabi nila, ito'y makakakos ng hypertension, palpitation, pagpulis ng tibok ng puso, pagsisikip ng ating mga ugat ng dugo, kaya nagka-hypertension. Increase in metabolism, madali kang mapagod. Increase in muscular tension, so madaling sumakit ng yung mga muscle, no, kalamnan, yung leeg, yung balikat, lahat yan. Ngayon, ano ba ang ginagawa ng gobyerno? Actually, nung panahon pa ni President Marcos, meron ng Presidential Decree number 1152, wherein like they try to create yung community noise standards. Ano ba yung standard ng noise level dapat? Per location, per zone. And they even produce standards for noise producing equipment. And also in that same presidential decree, they created the National Pollution Control Commission, saan tinatalaga ang bawat ahensya ng gobyerno magkaroon ng noise standard sa kanilang mga pinagtatrabahuhan. And even ito, Section 9, no, may aircraft noise. In House Bill 3875, no, in the 16th Congress first session, Honorable Pancho, meron pa siyang ilagay na binuo niya yung Clean Air Act, no? Pero bill lang siya. Serves to protect the right, and promote the right to health of the people, specifically named the Clean Air Act, so as any air contaminant, including unwanted sound from a known source, which has passed into the atmosphere, is considered noise pollution. Doon din sa Clean Air Act na yun, ito, yung tanong ng isang audience, no? Section 5, pati yung private and public motorcycle and tricycle vehicles that will be used and found anywhere in the country should be regulated because of their noise. Meron ding environmental technical manual, no, sa ating aeronautics, no, na kinokontrol nila yung noise dun sa aeroplano. Meron pang noise certificate sila in aeronautics para makontrol yung noise, epekto ng noise sa kanilang mga pasahero at sa kanilang mga piloto at crew. Even the DOH recommends, no, unwanted second noise has harmful effects as well. For the ambient environment, 60 decibels during daytime and 50 decibels during nighttime. Fireworks can be loud and can exceed 140 decibels. The noise of 85 decibels above can damage hearing. So nagpalabas sila noon pa ang DOH yung kanilang rekomendasyon at kanilang warning sa pagpubliko ng epekto ng noise. Si Senator Legarda naglabas ng Senate Bill 447 wherein regulating noise pollution by creating the Noise Pollution Control Board and providing funds therefore for other purposes. Even Senator Vin Gatchalian in the 17th Congress prohibits the use of motor vehicles without mufflers or those that are defective or been modified, which increase the sound emitted by motor vehicles, and even penalizing these owners and drivers that contribute to the noise pollution. Meron pa nga tayong House Bill 1839 ng Congress, no, by Representative Teodoro, the Anti-Pollution Act of 2010. Giving penalties to people providing noise and raising the people's awareness against noise. And of course, we have House Bill number 1035. No? Ito naman, yung videoke and karaoke, no? Pinagbabawal niya because it's an unnecessary disturbance to the public within the residential areas and providing penalties therefore. And even the late Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago, in the regular session, in her explanatory note, there is no law which prescribes a uniform system for determining noise impact at airports. Airport yung kanyang focus, taking into account the characteristics of an area, including its proximity to an airport and its non-aircraft background noise. This bill prescribes aviation noise limits, provides for its management and reduction, especially in surrounding areas. And even Macapagal Arroyo, former President Macapagal Arroyo, and his son, no, made a bill, no, an act regulating the use of motor-driven vehicles in residential areas. Siguro sa mga subdivision. No? And in last 2021, October 21, 2021, there was a meeting by the House of Representatives to create an act, no, to abate and control noise pollution. But up to now, still a bill. I don't know what happened to this. No? But it just tells you na marami ng bills, marami na rin, may mga presidential decrees na rin. It's just a matter of implementation. So on our end, in our society, we have the collaboration for hearing conservation programs. We're trying to start in the workplace, no? The effect of noise in the workplace. Try to create standards, no? What should be followed by the manufacturing firms and other companies. And we will try to follow those being implemented abroad. And to give you an idea, ito yung permissible noise nila in other countries. In Italy, less than 40 decibels lang. In France, less than 38. Sweden, less than 35. Portugal and India, less than 46 or less than 50. So Philippines, up to now, there's no established law that tells us what is the permissible noise. So what can be done, no, aside from government intervention? There are what we call primary, secondary, and even tertiary prevention. And in the primary prevention of the workplace, no, we have individual strategies, environmental and occupational strategies. For secondary prevention, which is yung medical or surgical, there's no cure. Kasi nga permanent yung damage. There's no cure. And for tertiary prevention, of course, legislation will come into play and compensation for those who are already disabled. So ang magagawa natin yung primary prevention. Doon tayo magsisimula kasi yun ang pwede nating baguhin po. Unang-una, we have to increase awareness through education on youth. Dapat simula pa lang sa elementarya, no? Sa grade school, sinisimulan na. We have to limit the duration of noise. Sabi nga nila, not more than an hour of using headsets or exposure to any noise. And then after that, you have to rest your ear. Avoid situations of excessive noise. If you can avoid it, don't go near a speaker. Don't stay too much inside the bar. No? You have to go out from time to time. Use appropriate, affordable, and acceptable ear protective devices. They are available in the market. Sound insulation. Sometimes you have to insulate your room or the other way around. No? You have to insulate the area that maingay siya to the other places. Or we can use noise reduction technology nowadays. Ito yung sinasabi namin mga earplugs. No? Ear muff, ear mode, earplugs. They say ang maximum protection na nakapagbibigay sa atin are the ear muffs. Hindi lang yung earplug, the ear muff. Kasi yung ear muff, pati yung bone, yung travel ng sound sa ating bungo, nababawasan yun. And if you use these protective devices, it could really decrease, no, the amount of noise that can enter your ear, around 20 to 35 decibels sound attenuation, decrease in sound. In school, no, the average exposure there is around 87.4 decibels na. Mostly in the gyms, in the lunchroom or canteens, bus rides, no, ganun kaingay yun, 87.4 decibels. Even in indoor sports events, no? In basketball games, sa loob ng Araneta, pag tayo nanonood ng UAAP, 99.5 decibels po, mga kababayan. Traffic highways in EDSA exceeds 100 decibels. Hospitals, yung ICU, yung araw-araw na tumutunog na cardiac monitor, that's 120 decibels kasi mataas yung frequency ng high-pitch sounds, which could lead, no, making pregnant women more prone to having birth defects or fetal deaths. No? Even yung mga sinapupunan nila, yung mga fetus, no, narinig na yun. No? Develop na kasi yung hearing at several months inside the womb. Concerts, no, 110 decibels, I discussed a while ago. And disco sa ating mga tatanda, disco pa nun. Bar ngayon ang tawag, 90 to 100 decibels. exposure. So sa school, we have to educate the school administrators. Us, no, ENTs, we regularly give lectures to the school administrators, no, and provide them the hearing conservation program that should be needed in school. And yung bata mismo, you have to increase their awareness na yung ingay, no, hindi dapat yun araw-araw o matagal. Lalo na yung paggamit ng mga headset, nag-gaming ng mga bata, di ba? Same with the indoor sports. Sa highways, we have to involve the MMDA. Kailangan talaga ng manghuli yung mga kotse o sasakyan na malakas ang ingay, no? Malakas ang tambutso, walang muffler. And these owners of vehicles have to fix their engines or they have to buy a new one. Kasi mas matanda yung makina, mas maingay po yun, di ba? Pag hindi na-maintain na maingay mga makina, maingay sila. And we have to implement regulatory controls for this. The LTO should not renew the licenses or even the permits of these vehicles pag mapangit yung engine na may. Concert bars, musicians have to protect themselves. No? Kaya lang sabi ng musicians, pag tinakpan daw nila tenga na, hindi naman nila ma-appreciate yung music. And you have to limit your bar exposures. Maganda rin yan kasi pag na-limit mo yung bar exposure, ma-limit na yung alcohol mo. And there was one study done on the occupational strategies. Dr. Vitasa et al. Found that 66.7%, or 7 out of 10 Filipino industrial workers have noise-induced hearing loss, mostly in the mining companies. Other occupational strategies, no? Yung engineering. We have to strengthen our engineering control. One is the choice of equipment. So, siyempre, bibili tayong equipment brand new. Huwag na yung segunda mano, like, for example, in the manufacturing field. So, siyempre, maingay yun. Yung generator lang na segunda mano, maingay siyempre. Number two, we have to keep its maintenance well. Regular maintenance. And I think the government has to play a role in this. No? Kailangan ma-regulate ko, ma-monitor sila. And if the machine is already old, replacement is the key. Sometimes we can do noise dissemination. So pag alam mo magiging potential na maingay yung iyong lugar ng pinagtatrabaho mo, put it in an open space. No? Lakihan mo. Huwag mo i-confine. Putting it in an open space, madi-disseminate yung sound. Some will have soundproofing. Yung maingay na machine, kukuluban mo, i-enclose mo siya, okay, para hindi na siya marinig sa labas. Or, baliktarin mo, yung tao mo, yung staff mo, sila i-enclose mo, nasa office sila, na-enclosed, protected from the noise outside. And we can also give administrative control. Yung ating mga upper management, we have to be strict. Pag yung mga tao natin hindi susunod ng mga earmuffs or hindi protective device, o hindi sumusunod sa proper shift, no? Kasi may mga shift na dapat 8 hours ka na nandun, ka na magtatagal. No? Or yung proper rotation of staffing, no? Minsan 1 week, sila muna yung nasa maingay. Next week, iba naman. Just to delay the effect of noise, no, to these workers. Ito po yung sinasabi ko pong noise absorption. Ito, sa taas na picture, in-enclose niya yung machine. Kasi yun ang maingay po. Sa baba, kabaligtaran. Ang in-enclose niya, yung mga staff niya, yung mga tauhan niya. Nasa loob ng isang office na protected sila. Soundproof yung kanilang office. Merong mga regulations na nilabas, no? Ang some of the manufacturing firms, and sinasabi lang dito na may mga proseso silang sinusunod, no? Para mabawasan ang exposure sa noise. Ito rin, no? Ang ginagawa kasi nila, merong itong 3.4, may annual audiometry or annual hearing test. So bago mo palang i-employ isang tao, hini-hearing test mo na, baseline. And then, habang katrabaho siya, every year, sometimes pa nga twice a year, monitor na yung hearing ng isang tao. Kasi pagka yung napapansin ng doktor nila na bumababa na yung hearing ng tao yun, hindi mo na siya ilalagay sa maingay na lugar niya o babawasan mo yung exposure niya. And then, try mo rin i-check yung kailang compliance with using their earplugs and earmuffs. No? So, dapat siya-check din yan ng bawat kumpanya. And there has to be zero tolerance, no, for hearing loss, sabi nga dito. Now, for the tertiary prevention, aside from government legislation, meron dapat compensation. And the compensation can be monetary or could be the provision of hearing devices. Deafness nga, sabi nila, deafness is one of the occupational diseases in unemployment. And this is caused by any industrial operation having excessive noise and higher frequencies. Sabi nga nila sa ating Social Security System o SSS, permanent, no? Permanent disability yun. Paglalaban nyo na kung total or partial. But still, kung permanent yun, total disability, dapat may monthly pension, no? Plus 10% of each of the 5 dependent children. Of partial disability, ito, monthly pension limited to the number of months designated by law for a particular disability. Pero hindi ko lang alam, no, kung nagagawa ito sa SSS, kung napafile ba talaga ng workers natin. And, hindi lang kita rito sa may slide ko, yung may rehabilitation services for permanent disability. Yung hearing aid devices, dapat pino-provide po ng ating Social Security. Pero, in my experience, wala pa po nakaka-avail nito, no? Itong hearing aid devices as part of the rehabilitation services for permanent disability. Sa GSIS, ganun din, no? There has to be monthly cash income benefit for permanent partial disability, even medical appliances, no? Supplies for injury or sickness. And they also have to provide rehabilitation service for permanent disability. And for recreational noise, ito, bago to, no? Apple sold over 250 million, no, iPods players since 2002. 2002 pa itong data ko. E what more ngayon, no? And 184 to 246 million portable audio devices sold in the European Union. And this recreational noise can also cause noise-induced hearing loss. No? Kasi malamang above 85 decibels na nagpapatugtog ng ating mga anak. Nakaganon pa, naka-enclose pa sa kailang tenga. Malapit na malapit sa tenga. And our PLDs, or the personal listening devices, children nowadays listen to their PLDs too long because of the rechargeable battery. Diba dati noon, nung panahon natin, naubos yung baterya. E ngayon hindi na, rechargeable. Saksak mo lang konti sa pad, okay na ulit. And children nowadays listen to their PLDs too loud. Gusto nila maingay. And that sound can produce 80 to 120 decibels of music. And lalo na ngayon, the millennials, the Gen Z, the Gen Alpha, they're what we call risk takers and sensation seekers. What used to be quiet activities before, walking, reading, eating, ngayon may noise exposure na. Di ba yung mga kabataan naglalakad, may listening device. Nagbabasa lang, meron pa rin listening device. Even pag kumakain, meron pa rin silang listening device. So unlike occupational noise, no one monitors this recreational noise. They do not get annual hearing tests as mandated by the hearing conservation programs. No one makes noise surveys on personal music system of a typical listener. And unlike occupational noise, where the noise is ambient or in a free field, no? Recreational noise are in a near field. No? Malapit sa ear canal, nandun yung hearing device nila eh. Thus, the physical differences with occupational noise makes it difficult to apply the same damage risk criteria to international standards of OSHA and NIOSH with this recreational noise. So, ito yung poster na ginagamit ng iba, no? Avoid earphones, avoid loud places, don't scream, use earmuffs, no? Educate the children, use earplugs, hand over ears, pag naiingayan na kayo, limit your listening time, 30 minutes to 1 hour lang. Move away, if you can move away from speakers. No? use speakers instead of headphones. Yung sinasabi ko sa mga kabataan. Kasi mas malayo sa tenga mo. Take a break. No? Take a break. 1 hour, no? A 1 hour break from your listening device and turn the volume down. At least 50%. Nandun ka lang dapat sa green bar ng TV mo o ng listening device. Don't reach the red bar. Ito nga, sabi nila, if you want a life of peace and quiet, don't move to the Philippines. Kasi nga yung ating landscape, masyado tayo, masasayahin tayo. Gusto natin lagi may fiesta, ingay, music. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Kalakian. Dr. Susie?
Oy, thank you, Maloy. What a wonderful presentation. Talagang very thought-provoking. Raymond, no? I think there's a lot to discuss, and I saw some very interesting questions on the Q&A box, no? So we can proceed now, Raymond, and we'll ask Maloy to stay with his camera open so the three of us can have a discussion.
Correct.
But Raymond, you want to jump into the questions first?
Sige, ma'am. Let me just pull out the questions coming in from, let's say, so from Alden Tenorio po, no? Dr. Maloy, can the auditory experience at a concert potentially impair your hearing? So maybe you've answered also already, but para sa mga BTS
Will.
fans at saka mga ano, sir, baka
Oo, naku.
Will. No? Above 85 decibels po yun.
Mhm.
Close pa yung area.
So yung mga concert goers, sir, what is your advice to them? Syempre, hindi mo naman mapipigilan yung mga fans din, no, sir? Pero they want to also enjoy, but at the same time, to protect their hearing, ano kaya ang pwede nilang gawin, sir?
Well, for one, siyempre, napipili mo naman saan kang lugar yung seat mo, di ba? Huwag ka na doon sa malapit sa speaker ng concert. Kung may area na malapit sa speaker, so lumayo ka na. And then, second, siyempre, siguro, ilimit mo naman yung concert mo, pagpahingay mo yung tenga mo. Huwag naman every month o every week. Masyado rin magastos kung every week.
Alam mo ako, Raymond, I was struck by Maloy's mention of yung noise pollution in a traffic zone. I really could never understand kung bakit pag nasa traffic, parang nagkakasakit ako, masama ang pakiramdam ko, no? And it occurs to me that part of it is the noise. But I think this is the question for me from a public health point of view, no? Maloy, is there a way? Kasi when we talk about enforcement of certain standards, no? Ito, we can measure human beings, but that's kind of late na, no? Is there a way of quickly measuring the level of noise in different places? And can that be used for enforcement? Kasi, we can say, well, keep the noise level down, but is there some objective and cheap way of measuring the ambient sound in the environment?
Opo. Meron po. Actually, we have what we call the sound meter. Yun yung parang talagang pangsukat ng sound ng environment. It's a small device. On mo lang siya, tapos papalo na yung meter, no? But actually, there are already apps in our iPhone and smartphones. You can download and use it as sound meters po.
Uy, that's a great idea, no? I
Opo.
think, kasi it's about the awareness, no? As you said, it is a creeping kind of exposure. You don't notice it. But if there's some objective way, I mean, in the same way that we can measure PM 2.5, no? We can measure particulate matter in the air. It would be great if I think people can measure the ambient sound or ambient noise and really see na, oy, teka, nag-asi 70 na ito, di ba? Tumataas na. Kasi kung walang measurement, minsan, ayun na nga, hindi siya mapapansin. And that could be the basis for, I mean, in the same way, no, if an air pollution level goes up so high, you have to get people out of the street and close down the street. Diba?
Mm.
Pag sobra yung air pollution. Ganun din dapat siguro yan for noise pollution. When you have too much sound, that should be the basis for closing down a certain place or a certain area, or providing in a work setting, providing personal protective equipment. No, I mean, I'm just
Oo.
thinking out loud because it's really a
Discuss po
very
namin yan sa
thought-provoking
Doc Susie, na-discuss namin sa
presentation.
LTO. Nahihirapan
Mm.
ng LTO implement o yung ating kapulisan. Kasi nga yung sound na being produced by the vehicles, moving mobile.
Aha.
Hindi mo alam pag alis niya, saan galing yun? So, hindi mo siya mahuhuli. But, ang pwede nating i-regulate, yung pag-renew nila ng license, yung kailang mga
Correct.
sales,
Correct.
doon
Yeah.
na pwede. So, doon, masusukat mo yung ingay ng kanilang tambutso. Diba? Habang pinapaanda. Pwede yun.
Oo, di ba? Or even in a bar or a restaurant or something, you can use it talaga to say na ano to, bad for health eh. It's bad for your
Mm.
health in the same way that particulate matter in the air is bad for your health. So I think maybe we can be a little bit more imaginative about how you do it from a public health perspective, kasi it is quite dangerous the way you're describing it.
Yes, po.
Correct. Mm.
Meron pa tayong nakitang question. Meron ako nakitang question dito. Raymond galing
Which one? From
kay...
Dr. Joseph Tortona?
Oo, sa LGUs. Ayun, na-mention niya yung
Yes.
mga
So, yung
mufflers.
question
So,
naman from Dr.
motorcycle,
Joseph
yes.
Tortona, one of our avid taga-subaybay Dr. Maloy. Why won't national government require or have local government units apprehend, impound loud motorcycle mufflers in their localities to get rid of noise pollution? And why are they allowed to register in the first place? Parang what are the maybe policy measures that are in place? Meron daw po ba? Is it a matter of implementation or wala talagang policy, sir?
Well, ang alam ko lang may policy yung muffler, di ba? Kasi yung smoke that they emit. Pero as to the noise, wala pa eh. Tatanong nga yung LTO, ano yung dapat permissible noise? Wala pa.
Oo, maganda yun ah.
Eh di ba nga yung ating mga motorsiklo, gusto pa nila mas maingay, mas okay daw.
Oo.
Paingay pa.
Yeah. And it's the awareness, no? It's the mindset and it's the awareness. Tsaka I think it's also society, it's also social. There are some cultures which are really very quiet, and there are some that are really very, that enjoy sound and so on. I'm not saying one is bad or the other, but apart from law and legislation, I think society should also play a role, no? Parang kailangan yung values natin na, oy, wag mo naman masyadong maingay. Naalala ko nga, Raymond, di ba sa Japan, pag nasa train ka, you're not even allowed to look at another person. Di ba? Parang you don't talk, you cannot talk in the train, and you cannot even look at another person. So there is some kind of a social norm about noise, and maybe that's something that we can work on, no? Parang na maya naman kayo, wag kayo
And also, di ba, since when we're traveling sa airplane, I recommend we use a noise cancellation device. Yung ating iPods, merong
Use
setting dun eh, noise cancellation. You can turn it on para ma-decrease yung sound that you're hearing from the jet engine. Di ba?
Right. Yeah.
Mag-travel, 7 hours to 12 hours.
Tsaka may question ako kay Dr. Maloy. Bakit yung mga persons na parang they're losing their hearing, no? Why do they speak very loud? Is it to hear themselves? Is that why they have to? Kasi for me, even if I cover my ears, right, I can hear myself talk. But why do people who lose their ability to hear speak too loud? Ano yung reason doon?
Kasi ito pong noise-induced hearing loss, ang nawawala, yung sensory neural component ng hearing. Kasi dalawa yan, may conductive ating true ear
Okay.
and the sensory neural, yung nerve. Yung nerve mismo nasisira. So ang pasok ng sound sa kanila, mahina.
They really cannot hear it.
O even their own voice, mahina. Akala nila
I
mahina.
see.
Kaya po nilalakasan nila.
Oo,
Kabaliktaran.
kasi ako kunyari, naisip ko, kunyari ako, kung bumubulong ako, naiintindihan ko, naririnig ko yung sarili ko. Kaya parang, sabi ko, bakit yung nawa? Okay, so, it's because nadadamage talaga yung nerve nila. And therefore, they cannot even hear themselves.
Opo. As opposed to sa
Mm.
taong may tutuli lang. Ang effect
Aha,
ng tutuli, maingay yung kanyang own voice sa loob. So hinihinaan niya.
ayun.
So alam mo
Oo.
agad sino yung taong nabibingi dahil sa tutuli at yung taong nabibingi dahil sa ugat.
Tsaka yung mga nabibingi pag kinakausap ng asawa.
Ayun, ano po yun? Selective hearing loss.
Selective hearing. Anyway, so I think we're almost out of time now, but Dr. Malo,
Mm.
it's been a pleasure to have you on the webinar. I think our
Mm.
audience has really
Opo.
enjoyed and what should I say? Has they have a lot to think about
Yes.
based on your presentation, and I think that's
Correct.
good. We should be thinking about what the real issues are and
Yeah.
uh, you know,
And also,
working towards
Dr. C,
finding
if I may
solutions.
emphasize,
Sige.
yung as compared to a blind person, yung blind person can still socialize.
Right.
Mm.
But a deaf person loses that.
Mahirap.
You will be a
Mahirap.
social outcast. And eventually, ang hearing loss can lead to dementia, early dementia, sabi nila.
Yes,
Mm.
yes,
Hindi
I
na
heard this
makikipag-usap
also.
sa ibang tao.
Yeah. In fact, it kind of goes together, no?
Yes
Parang
po.
those two go together. Oo. Well, thank you so much,
Thank you so much,
Dr.
Thank you
Dr.
also.
Calatigan.
Maloy.
Maloy,
Mm.
thank you.
Thank you
Raymond,
also.
we go to our evaluation.
Yes, ma'am. So we're coming to the end of our webinar po, no? And we'd like to hear your feedback and comments. So please fill up our evaluation poll. You may also give comments po, no? on speakers, our topic, our webinar po. Your feedback will be greatly appreciated. So if we can have that evaluation poll posted on the screen po, that will be very, very helpful as well. Ila-launch lang po natin. We're just waiting for it. But while that is being shown on the screen po, no? Or pinupull out po yan. We'd like to take opportunity to greet those who are joining us all the way po, no, from Daraga Doctors Hospital in Legazpi City, Albay, Philippine Science High School in Cagayan Valley, Bayambong Nueva Vizcaya, Baguio General Hospital and Medical Center in Baguio Benguet, Zamboanga del Sur Medical Center in Pagadian, Zamboanga del Sur, Samplur Philippines Medical Center in Davao, Davao del Sur. Also those who are joining us from the province of Bataan, province of Davao, Binyan City Hospital, Antipolo Rizal. Maraming salamat po. Doma de Gato, Marilao, Bulacan. Thank you so much everyone. Those joining us also. Again, from Bulacan po, no? From Jose Reyes also here. Internationally, we're also being viewed. Ryan Hall Shanix Incorporated, Bridgewater, Canada. Blida University 1, Ouled Yaik, Algeria. University of Hail in Hail Kingdom of Saudi Arabia po. It's a public university. Also the law firm of Lee and Co. from Juno, Sutra, and Sarantis. Maraming salamat din po sa ating mga taga-subaybay. Okay, maybe we're having difficulty lang po sa evaluation poll, no? So we'll move ahead, Dr. Susie. But again, it's here now, but and we're seeing it. Okay, number one, the panelists demonstrated thorough knowledge of the topic. Number two, the panelists were well prepared and organized. Number three, the panelists spoke clearly and audibly. Number four, the panelists used appropriate language and technical medical jargons adequately explained. And finally, the panelists contributed to new perspectives and knowledge on managing various key health issues. So as always po, no, we are very, very grateful for the feedback that you're able to put in. Also, showing an appreciation to our guest speaker, making time out from their very, very hectic lives and schedules po to be with us today. So next week, Dr. Susie, I think we have an exciting topic for next
Yes.
week. What do we have po ba, ma'am?
So next week we are going to talk about antimicrobial resistance. We have a pediatrician who will be talking about this. Importante. We've talked about this recently, but I don't think we can talk about it enough. It is such a big problem that we're not using our antibiotics wisely. And
Correct.
we don't want to get to a point where wala nang gamot na umaandar sa atin. So kailangan lahat tayo kasali rito sa solution.
Very good, very good. Thank you so much, Dr. Susie po. Now, before we conclude, our program, all health updates webinars are archived for viewing at the TVUP YouTube channel. So just go to www.youtube.com/TVUPPH and you'll be able to see all of our webinars there. 270 na po yun for today po, no? And just very short trip on the shorts tab naman po on the very same YouTube channel po natin. Meron po doon yung ating YouTube Shorts or Health Update Shorts po na kung tawagin po natin. So, like the presentations that we feature in snippets po, we hope you'll be able to watch them at your convenience and be able to gain nuggets of wisdom from these short videos po natin. Okay, so this formally closes our webinar for this week po na magkita-kita po tayo again next Friday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. It's a date. I think we lost Dr. Susie lang po, no? A little bit, but okay. Okay, Dr. Susie, are you back, ma'am? Okay, maybe
Okay.
she's
Yan. Wala ako. Kala ko ikaw nawala. Ako pala yung nawala. Sorry.
Okay. Sige, I'll repeat that one, mama. So, we look forward again to your company next Friday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. It's a date. You're on mute, mama. You're on mute. Okay, yeah, there we go.
Okay, anyway, bye everyone.
Thank you. Keep safe, keep healthy, and see you online, everyone.